Hello friends, this is Raj Sastry from Raj Option Trading. Today is July 10th, 2021. I want to cover heavily shorted stocks and how to benefit from them. So with that I got few stocks here starting with the Carver and SOFI, PubMatic, Latch and so on and so forth. And as you can see here, these have got high short float, so 49, 47, so on and so forth. So we'll look at a couple of these companies and see does it make sense to buy these stocks at this time. So with that, let's jump in and get started. So from a headline news perspective, hedge fund Melvin Capital Management, they struggle to shake Reddit attack. They lost 46% so far. This is one of the reasons why you don't want to bet against some of these names. Shorting some of these names may not be a great idea. You got to be very careful. Then we got one more news here: New Egg and Pop Culture stocks are tumbling today. These are really, meme stocks. They go up and down. You got to be careful and catch them when they're down, and not buy at the top. And meme stocks on the brink of bear market. These meme stocks go up and down pretty regularly, so we got to be watching them carefully. And we got one more news here: top 10 meme stocks. Reddit's Wall Street Bet is talking about. So we got Clover, AMC, Wish, GameStop, SoFi, so on and so forth. We got to pay attention to some of these names and buy them at the right price. And then we got to the moon potential. We got same GameStop, AMC, Twitter, so on and so forth. And betting against the meme stocks could get you seriously burnt, as evidenced by this hedge fund right here on top. And then we got more news here. Carver Bank Corp, the stock rockets again, and shareholders sold off. You got to be watching out some of these dynamics here. Stock skyrockets, and large shareholders sell the stocks. You got to watch some of those things very carefully. We'll look at some of those insiders selling and buying, and big institutions buying and selling also. Then we got PubMatic here. It's already up 32%, in June. So we will look at, is it still worth buying at this point? We got Clover Health expands the management team. It's always good news to have new management team and expand the management team, so that there is a good coverage. And we got some of these EV electric vehicle stocks like Lee as an example, making a big news here. Stock jumps in 45% in June. We should look at some of these electric stock cohort and see if it's worth buying them at this time. And then we got Workhors. This is again one of the great meme stocks, goes up and down pretty dramatically. And we got Blink charging. They signed some contract here. We should look at this one also carefully, and good to buy them on any drop off. And then we got B Cell and SNDX. Basically tip ranks is saying it's good to buy them before they jump, go up higher. So with that, let's look at some of these and see if it's worth investing here. From a major news perspective, we should always look at what insiders are doing. As an example, I got here a list of companies, and I've highlighted where insiders are buying. As an example, MICT, we got insider buying, 211%, as you can see here. Number of transactions have increased, and even the institutions are buying is 10%. So anytime you see more than 10% insider buying and institutions also buying, that's typically a good sign. So you got to look at the stock and see, hey, what is it in a right territory right now. So as you look through this here, 1 week down, 1 month down, 3 month up, it tells you, hey, what, it may be worth considering at this point. By looking at RSI, which is relative strength index, because it's below 50, it's at the right entry point here. Stock is relatively oversold. That's when some of these insiders will jump in, buy some of their own stock, and even institutions, as you can see here, they're also buying. So you got to pay attention to those dynamics, and there's a heavy volume, as you can see here, 2.1 million shares traded. And then we got a couple more here. We got IRWD. Again, it's a pharmaceutical company, $12 stock. There is a lot of insider transaction going on here. Obviously, these insiders know much more than what we know. So that's why it's good to look at these stocks and see if it's worth buying. And as you look through here, they got 13% float, and they got 100% gross margin. That's a good story here. Stock is down for the week, but up generally for the month, and they've done okay for 1 year. I would look at some of these companies like IRWD. It's one of the biotechnology stocks. Typically, biotechnology stocks are really secular growth, as you know. So probably it's good to look at this company also. Then we got a couple more here. We got DBI, Designer. Same story here. We got insiders buying a lot, and we got institutions a little bit selling, not too much. So we got to look at this one too. As you scan through here, stock is down for the 3 months, for 1 month, and 1 week. It's probably worth buying this one too. And as you see here, RSI is 46, tells you stock is oversold at this time. And OPCO Health, it's been down for a long time, as you all know. I think it's right now, as you can see here, insiders are buying drastically. I think it's okay to buy, some of this stock with the insiders. Then we got RIG here, Transocean. This used to be Wall Street darling a couple of years ago. Now with the energy coming back and OPEC playing some games, it may be okay to buy some, because heavy, as you can see, our short ratio is pretty high. We got 14% short float here. Insiders are buying the share. Institutions also buying the share. It may be okay to buy RIG on the down day. Don't keep it for a long time because this oil can go up and down drastically. It's okay to trade this one also into weakness. And then we got a couple more here. Fastly, one of the great stock here. I think it's also heavy insider transactions. Institutions are also buying it. Stock is down for last 1 week, 1 month, and so on and so forth. It's good to buy some Fastly. It'll go up, as we go forward. And then we got Editas here, one of the gene editing stocks, $48 stocks, down 51% from 52-week high. Insiders are buying it. Institutions are also buying it. Not too much. It's 2%, not great. But I think it's good to, buy some Editas and hold it for a long time. These gene editing and biotechnology stocks, when they go up a lot. When they lose momentum, they go down also quickly. So it's good to buy when they're down and hold it for the upturn. And we got a couple more here. Macy's, again, good company. I think they are also trying to make a comeback with the people, more and more people vaccinating. Insiders are buying it, as you can see here. 8% insider transactions. Institutions also buying it 27%. It's okay to buy some Macy's. They are, as you can see here, they're 16% down from 52-week high. Then we have a couple more here. Harley David's motorcycle company, and they're also down 13%. Insiders are buying a little bit, as you can see here, and institutions are also buying some. So institutions, I think, are right. Institutions are not buying, so they are selling a little bit, not too much. So you get the idea. So we'll keep some of these things in mind as we go through. Typically, when you see heavy insider buying, especially more than 10%, these stocks at the top here up to Geo, you got to pay some attention and see if it's worth buying. And also look at institutions if they're also buying, which is positive. In this example, if they're buying more than 10%, you pay attention there and see if it's worth investing along with the institutions and insiders. So with that, let's jump into next page here. This is the institutions buying. So these are big institutions, maybe hedge funds, maybe regular ETF and funds. So as you can see here, I got at the top here Arrival. Arrival has got a lot of institutions buying here. Not too much, no insider activity, but a lot of institutions are buying. So I will look at some of these companies like Arrival, Second Eye. Second Eye also jumps up and down drastically. It's down right now big time from 52-week high. I would look at some of these companies here. I've highlighted few. I also like to buy Marathon Digital when it's down. Right now it's down, as you can see here, with all the crypto going down. And similarly, I would look at other stocks like BT, and also stocks like the blockchain stock. So with that, we got support.com here, same story. Institutions are buying heavily. And as you can see here, insiders are selling a little bit. That will kind of compensate. In case of support.com, insiders also buying a little bit low, but not too much. That's okay. So as you see here, we got Nano Dimension. Here again, institutions are buying it, and and stock is kind of down 79 59% from 52-week high. So I would buy some Nano Dimension, and at this juncture, and hold it for a while. And we got EHang and MMAT, both are down, and institutions are buying the stock. I would buy some and hold it for a while. Especially EHang, it kind of goes up and down drastically at times. It's good to catch it when it's down. And as you know, Chinese government is cracking down on a lot of these Chinese companies. It's good to buy when they're down, and they will go up as we go forward. Now we got institutions selling, so we got to watch out these little carefully. Sometimes hedge funds buy and sell. We don't need to worry too much, but we got to watch out and understand what's going on. As institutions are selling like this, there will be some temporary weakness that could be our opportunity to buy, as the stock tries to turn around and go up. I've highlighted few stocks here. We got SOFI, as you can see here, one of the great fintech stock, $16. It's down big time, 42%. Institutions are selling it, and as you can see here, insiders are not doing much here. I would take advantage of these type of negative press here with the institutions selling, and slowly add to the position and be ready when they turn around. I think it may be okay to slowly buy some GameStop here and there, so that way you accumulate a small position and take it from there. And as you can see here, I've highlighted the BioCryst here, $16 stock. Insiders are selling it, 33%. Institutions are also selling it. I would buy some BioCryst also with this, downturn here. And we got a couple more highlighted here. I would look at them too. As you look through here, we got Virgin Spice, Virgin Galactic. As you can see here, insiders are selling big time. Institutions are also selling. I would wait for this also to cool off a little bit. Buy a little bit here and there, accumulate a small position, and this stock will also go up. Now we have Richard Branson. He wants to fly, go to the space before Jeff Bezos. This will also make some spotlight here and there. Next, we'll go to heavily shorted stocks. These are heavily shorted stocks. The way I organized this is really I got a short float. The one at the top here, Carver, has got 49% short float. That's the highest. From then on, it's a descending order. Typically, when you buy heavily shorted stocks, you got to look at, is there a sales growth evidenced by the sales growth here, 1 year, quarter over quarter. You got to make sure there's a good gross margin and maybe a good net margin, but you cannot always bank on a good net margin, because most of these are secular growers like biotech and technology companies. It's okay for them to lose money, but at least they should show some gross margin, some improvement in sales. And then we look at the total debt to equity ratio. If it is more than 1, we got to be a little careful, not to worry too much, but you got to keep that in mind. Then we look at the RSI. RSI below 50 typically indicates a good entry point, along with other factors like gross margin and the sales growth. Then we got short ratio itself and the performance, as you can see here, all the way to 1 year. Whenever you see price to sales ratio, which is PS ratio, above say 30, 40, you got to watch out a little bit and pay a little attention there, because they are a little bit heavy, high from a valuation perspective. So with that, I have highlighted few stocks here to look at. For example, we got SOFI here. It's okay to buy some SOFI into this weakness. And here you've got Clover Biotech. As you can see, it's gone up so drastically in last couple of days. One day 21%, 1 week 150%. I would wait for this to cool off a little bit. As you can see here, RSI is 75. That tells you it's really a little bit overbought at this time. You got to wait a little bit and then jump in. I would not buy into this high price at this time. And you've got PubMatic. PubMatic, as you can see here, insiders are selling a little bit. Even institutions are also selling a little bit. Stock, as you can see here, has gone up nicely in the last 1 day and 1 week. 1 week it's down, I think, just in 1 day. I would buy some PubMatic into this weakness. It's a great company with the digital advertising. I would buy some. And then we got Latch here. It's a security company. I think it's good to buy this company also into this weakness and go from there. And we got Clover. Clover is a famous meme stock, as most of you know. Right now it's down. It's a high valuation, 100 plus, as you can see here. From a price to sales perspective, it's down for 1 day, 1 week, 2 week, and so on and so forth. This one is good to buy into this weakness. This stock jumps up and down drastically. Then we got Chinese automaker, electric vehicle maker, Li Auto. As you can see here, here also we got institutions buying this company, and short float is high. It's trying to make a comeback, as you can see here. I would buy this on any down day and hold it from there. I think it's down 33% here. RSI tells you it's a little bit high. You can wait for a little bit pullback here. When the RSI is below 55 or 50, that will be a good entry point. Then we got company like Workhors. Workhors, it's a good company, but right now it's not making money. It's got a nice market cap. Sales is just $2 million. As you can see here, high short ratio, and institutions are selling a little bit. Insiders also selling. This could be some temporary phenomenon with the lockup expiration potentially. So I would buy some of this Workhors share on the down day and hold it for a while. And then we got support, same story. Blink, here also, as you can see, institutions are buying Blink. They're trying to get ahead and buy some into the weakness. We could do same thing. As you can see, our stock has been down all along. We could buy some and hold it for a while. Then I also like stocks like Smile Direct. It's also been it's trying to go up in last 1 day. High short ratio. You could buy some into weakness and hold it for a while. And we got a couple more here. HUYA, insiders are buying HUYA, and institutions are also buying some. You could buy into this weakness. It's trying to go up on Friday. Generally, Chinese companies are under pressure with the President Xi doing a lot of things to crack down on the Chinese companies. And then we got CLVS Oncology, same story. I would buy into this weakness. As you can see, our institutions are buying it. Insiders are selling. Could be some lockup expiration or some of those things. Insiders generally sell at times. Then you got GoodRx. GoodRx is one of my favorite companies. As you can see here, institutions are selling it, and gross margin is very respectable, 94% gross margin, and they're not making money yet. As you can see here, high short ratio, and I think overall stock has been falling off. I would buy some into this weakness. The CEO here is trying to do the right thing and trying to come up with new offerings. I think it's a good company with the comparing on your pharmacy prescription prices. And then got SENS. As you can see, a high short ratio, and institutions are buying it. Insiders are buying it, down 41%. Valuation is high though, but I would buy some into this weakness and hold it for a while. Now we got next page here, same story. I would look at Ocugen here, OCGN, and EHang. Both have got high short ratio. Ocugen, institutions are buying it, insiders are selling it. high short ratio. I would buy some Ocugen at this point. And also EHang as an example, low RSI. As you can see here, stock has been selling off in last 1 week, 2 week. I would buy some EHang too. As you scan through here, Romeo looks like insiders are selling, institutions are also selling. If you're a contrarian, you could buy some Romeo. When EV stocks go up, this might also go up. But I would, be caution a little bit because valuation is a little high on this. I would probably buy on down days and hold it, but not too much. Buy a little bit, I would think. Then we got Riot Blockchain. This is a good one with all the cryptos down. You could buy Riot Blockchain and even Marathon Digital as an example and BT into this weakness. Riot has got a high short ratio as you can see here, and insiders are selling not too much. Institutions are also buying it. So I would buy some into this weakness and hold it for a while. Then you got WOOF Petco. All the pet stocks were down last couple of weeks. I would buy some Petco into this weakness. Low RSI, high short ratio. Institutions are buying a little bit. I would buy this little bit here. Then we got Skillz. Skillz is a great company. As you can see here, a lot of short ratio. Stock is trying to bounce back here on last Friday. As you can see here, I would buy a little bit Skillz also here. Then you got a couple more Carvana. Carvana probably I would wait a little bit. High RSI I would not buy at this time. I would wait for this to come down a little bit. Frisker could be okay to buy. This is also a good company. As you can see here, their heavy short ratio, and I think stock has been falling off. It's good to accumulate a little bit Frisker into this weakness. And then you got Vibo here and Fastly, Wayfair. It's good to buy some of these. As you can see here, Fastly and Wayfair, we got heavy institutions buying here, and same story with the MMAT, Ride, and Vibo. Institutions are buying heavily. I would look at buying some of these into the weakness and hold it for a while. Virgin Atlantic, as you scan through this RSI, it's a little high for me. It's 68. I would wait for this to cool off a little bit and then buy. We got next page here as we scan through. We got Jinko Solar. Looks like Jinko Solar institutions are buying heavily, 122%. I would buy some into this weakness. As you can see here, 1 day down. It's up nicely for 1 week and 2 week. I would wait for this to cool off a little bit. Right now RSI 68 indicates a little bit on the higher side. I would wait for this to cool off a little bit and then buy. Sorrento, on the other hand, I think it's okay to buy now. Institutions are buying, Sorrento heavily. As you can see, institution transactions higher here. And as you scan through, RSI is relatively low. I would buy some Sorrento into this weakness. It's down for 1 day, 1 week, and so on and so forth. And then we got a couple more here. Vuzix, Beyond, Meat, Solo, Real, and even MVIS, it's actually micro MVIS. I would look at some of these as you scan through here. There are insiders buying VUZI Vuzix, and some insiders selling Beyond Meat. I would look at this carefully and buy some of this into weakness and hold it for a while. Looks like real institutions are buying some. That's a good number, 10%. I would look into this one also and buy some real into this weakness, as you can see here. So with that, we got one more page here. We got a couple more companies here. Dick's Sporting Goods. I would probably, as you can see here, RSI is 53. It's okay to buy slowly, but only issue I have with Dick's is it's already up so much. It's just 2% down from 52-week high. I would rather wait a little bit for this to cool off and then buy. Then you got Rite Aid. This stock has been down a lot from the quarterly earnings. I would buy some. It's trying to recover, as you can see here. I would buy some into this weakness, completely oversold. RSI is 27, which is very low. GameStop, as you can scan through this, RSI 41. It's okay to buy some into weakness. Looks like institutions are buying GameStop, and institutions are also buying Aurora Cannabis, ACB, and even Everbright. I would buy some of these stocks into the weakness. Then we got, as we scan through here, we got Upstart, one of my favorite stocks. It's a fintech play, $120, down big as you can see here. Recent IPO, as you see here, insiders are selling it, could be expiration lockup. I would also buy this slowly and accumulate a nice position here. NVTA is one of my favorite stock. I would buy some into the weakness. Right now RSI is 42. It's good to initiate some position here. Same story with Marathon and Second Eyes, and Editas that we covered. TXMD, same story. As you can see here, nice institutional transactions, 17%, and low stock price. It's okay to look at some of these companies, buy some and hold it for a while. So as you scan through here, blooming BLMN, there is heavy institutions buying, and even Nordstrom, there is heavy institutions buying, even EVGO. I would look at some of these things and see if it makes sense to buy. And many areas, as you can see here, insiders are selling, as you see here, minus 60%, minus 14%. You could take a look at this and see if the stock is punished enough, and then slowly buy some. Now we look at one company in a little more detail. Stock is IRWD Pharmaceuticals, IRWD. It's a healthcare company focused on development, commercialization of gastrointestinal GI products. And look, as you can see here, they got a lot of things going on. They have various products they're developing here. Also has good strategic partnerships with AbbVie, AstraZeneca, and Astellas Pharma. These are some good big companies. I would look at this company. As you scan through here, earnings per share positive, companies making money. Sales is pretty nice, a nice clip here. And shares outstanding is nothing to be worried here, pretty steady Eddie. And as you can see here, they announce American Journal of Gastro. They published some report here. That's a good news here. It's one of the top of pharmaceutical stocks per Investopedia, and looks like they're doing well. There is some positive news here. Generally, from a stock perspective, $12 stock, not too much at all. It's okay to buy some. Insiders are buying heavily, as you can see here. That's a great news. Stock is down for 2 weeks, even for 1 week, a little bit up for 1 day. I would buy this company on a weakness and accumulate nicely. As you look at the volume, nice volume from a 1 day perspective and 3-month average perspective. There is a positive growth for next year. That's good. A lot of free cash flow. They're spending money on the R&D. That's also great. And they've been up from 50 to 20-day moving average, above 50-day moving average. And as you can see here, they're also above nicely about 120-day moving average as well as 200-day moving average. So with that, let's look through here. Probably don't look at the 120 and 200-day moving average. Probably that's not right number here, but generally they're doing well. And they got nice operating margin, and 5-year return is okay, just 15%. 10-year is negative. I think overall this stock is one of those steady eddy stocks. If you hold for a while, you would see some positive growth. So with that, if you look at the chart here with the IRWD, earnings, stock went up, came down a little bit, went up, came down. Stock really goes up and down nicely. I would wait for this to cool off a little bit, or even now you could buy some. Stock will make higher highs slowly. It's a good looking chart here. From a RSI perspective, 56 tells you it may be okay to wait a little bit to buy, or you could buy some amount and then hold it for a long time. And from an implied vol perspective, implied vol is a little bit high. If you're a put option seller, you could sell some put option below the current stock price. That's one way to go. Stock is really cheap. You could buy stock outright. It's just a $12 stock. Right now, if you look at the DMI, the blue line is above red line, just a positive crossover. That tells you it's a good news. It's trying to cross over. It's a bullish crossover at this time. On the balance volume is positive. That's a great news. So people are buying the stock. That's why on the balance volume is going up, and smart money is flowing into the stock. That's why check-in money flow is positive. So with that, I would buy some of the stock at this here. If it comes down, buy some more and accumulate a nice position here. Many times these biotech stocks, they will be sleeper stocks. Over the time, they'll do very nicely. There'll be some great announcement around new clinical trial, new drug. Stock will typically go up in those such news. So next we'll look at what do we look for when we trade heavily shorted stocks. Look for stocks that are oversold, meaning when the RSI is less than 50, that tells you, what, from an entry position perspective, you could be okay. And also look for stocks that are recovering the shorter term. They may be sold off heavily, but now they're recovering in a 1 week, 2 week type time frame. Look for high short ratio above 10%, like all the stocks that we covered here. They all have more than 10% short ratio. And also look for insiders and or institutions buying the stock. That's a great indication, especially when insiders buy. That tells you they got confidence in the company. It's okay for you to buy some at that point. And if you're not a very super active trader, look for some fundamentally good companies with a positive sales growth and gross margin. You will have a nice surprise. You don't need to look at the screen all day. If you look at some of the fundamentally good companies with a positive sales growth, you could be a swing trader. Don't need to watch every day. Then also look for some secular growth biotech stocks or even secular growth technology stocks. When they're down on a bad news and they have heavy short ratio, that could be your opportunity. You could buy some and hold it for a long time. So with that, thank you very much. Happy investing and trading. Please subscribe Raj Option Trading. Thank you.